Tonight, a break in the heavy winds and rain as we are still searching for answers in the weekend flooding that stranded drivers on Highway 99 and left 3 people dead in Sacramento County. What happened that night, and should more have been done by the agencies responsible?
One question we're asking tonight: could more have been done ahead of levee breaks along Green Road and Cosumnes River, and what's being done to fix them? And tonight, we're learning more about the 3 people who died in that New Year's Eve flooding.
The victims include 45-year-old Stephen Sampson of Oklahoma, 57-year-old Mayken Lamb of San Leandro, and 61-year-old Kathy Martinez of Orland. Now, Martinez's death was just confirmed last night after her family reported her missing on New Year's Day. Cell phone data showed her last known location was on New Hope Road near Galt. Her son says he found her himself yesterday after reporting her missing 2 days earlier. And we asked the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office about that today, and they say that deputies did work to find Martinez even as parts of the road were still underwater.
Those steps were taken, but areas that were inaccessible at the time, I can't tell you that they went pinpoint exactly where she was ultimately discovered, but I can tell you sure they did check that area.
Last night, the Cosumnes Fire Department had to launch a boat to help recover her body. And those deaths have prompted big questions about what could have been done, if anything, to avoid them.
And especially because several people had to be rescued from the floodwaters in South Sacramento County. KCRA 3's Orko Manna spoke to county officials and law enforcement tonight to try and get some answers.
We treat them like a violin, but we use them like a pickup truck.
Sacramento Metro Fire's UH-1 Huey helicopters have been busy this week. The special aircraft did nearly a dozen rescues because of major flooding caused by the recent storms. These helicopters were sent to some rescue operations on Highway 99 and other surrounding roads in Sacramento County during New Year's Eve weekend.
We ended up having some significant rescues in that time period, and basically we're just going from rescue to rescue, trying to pull people out of a dangerous area wherever we could.
Livecopter 3 footage from Sunday shows floodwaters all over Highway 99. Nearby Dillard Road was also submerged in water. 3 people died due to the dangerous flooding in Sacramento County. So the big question for many, were cars able to get onto Dillard because it was not blocked correctly? We asked Sacramento County officials for an answer.
Dillard Road was closed ahead of the major flooding because we knew that that was a likely imminent result, was that it would end up flooded.
The county tells us 2 signs, one saying flooded and the other saying road closed, were placed in the middle of the road around 4 p.m. Saturday. Those signs had bright colors and reflective tape, so the county says the closure should have been obvious. The county also says roads are not fully barricaded for safety reasons, so if cars were able to get through, why was there no one to stop them?
Because we can't necessarily have a physical presence at each one of these road closures just because there were so many, unless it's reported to us that people are driving around the barriers or that somehow the barriers removed, we may not know until we can get back to that location.
Caltrans was in charge of the Highway 99 closure, which they tell us happened after midnight because they were surprised by the amount of water. The California Highway Patrol responded first and took action.
The river, it rose so quickly, it rose really fast, that then it became a point where it was impassable. And so they shut the road down themselves and waited for Caltrans to arrive on scene to put in a road closure.
With more wet weather on the way, each agency says they're working to ramp up their resources.
It's something that we're certainly looking at as we come near to these next set of storms, is how we can effectively manage to keep people safe.
Orko Manna, KCRA 3 News.
Both Sacramento County and CHP tell us they also warned about the potential for road flooding through social media posts. Among those messages was something we hear all the time: turn around, don't drown. And we're learning more about this week's overtopping and levee breaks along the Cosumnes River that caused damage across hundreds of acres of farmland in the Wilton area.
KCRA 3's Melanie Wingo spoke with a board member for the reclamation district that manages that levee about the hours leading up to the breaks and what happens next.
Atop the north side Cosumnes River levee, Leland Schneider looks across a parcel of Wilton farmland that just days ago was underwater.
On Sunday, Monday, this was a lake.
That land sits beneath the largest of 3 breaks in the 31-mile stretch of levee that happened New Year's Eve into New Year's Day.
Would you classify this as a disaster?
Yeah, this is a catastrophic disaster.
Schneider and fellow landowners and board members of Reclamation District 800 did what they could to prepare and brace the levee in advance of the storm.
We knew that this storm was coming.
Their work started Friday and continued through the night.
We put about 10 truckloads of sand out in different places along the levee on the south side and the north side, end to end, 31 miles.
Resuming early the next morning.
We got 45 guys on call for Saturday morning at 7 o'clock.
Doing levee patrol, they call it.
I've been here my whole life. We flood fight out here.
Dozens of sets of hands working against the clock, trying to keep Mother Nature at bay.
We got the dozer working, trying to keep the water in the river. We got sandbags going in on the north side, trying to keep the water in the river. We got 40 guys up here trying to keep the water in the river.
By late Saturday night, they had to get off the levee. It was too dangerous. And by Sunday morning, they saw what we saw, floodwaters expanding across South Sacramento County. But Schneider is quick to put the level of flooding into perspective.
The water from the Cosumnes going onto Highway 99, does that have anything to do with the levees breaking, or is that just a separate issue altogether?
It's a separate issue altogether.
Reclamation District 800 says the flooding on Highway 99 would be out of its jurisdiction.
Historically out here, I've been through the 82 flood, the 86 flood, 97, 2017, and now that 2022. There's always water on Highway 99. These levees up here, they have nothing to do. This reclamation district has nothing to do with any of the water that hits Highway 99.
Days after the waters receded, their work continues.
We're scraping and scratching, and we're going to put this thing back together.
Schneider and his farming community sticking together through so much loss.
It's in my blood, and it just kills me that this happened.
Determined to rebuild, repair, and prepare like they've done through history for the next big flood-producing storm.
Does a flood like this make you go, I want to hang up my hat?
Nope, it makes me want it more. It makes me want to protect my community more. It makes me want to protect my neighbors more. It makes me want to work harder.
In Wilton, Melanie Ringo, KCRA 3 News.
Got that fighting spirit. During the flood of 1997, the Cosumnes River levee broke in 21 places. This year, for perspective, there were only 3 breaks along that same 31-mile stretch of levee.
As for tonight, the weather system has weakened, but it's not over with rain and snow still in our area. This is a live look outside in Sacramento, Stockton, and Lake Tahoe, and snow fell in the Sierra for much of the day. And with that snow, traffic issues after a big rig jackknife and chain controls were enforced, stopping some drivers who were not equipped for the conditions. This was along Interstate 80 near Truckee. You can see all those big rigs and some vehicles pulled over to the right side of the road there.
So I'm sitting here so I can see the Caltrans guy and hopefully be one of the first people on the freeway. We'll see. And get back down to Auburn. If not, I'll just go back to Reno and stay the night.
And that crash cleared within an hour, getting travelers back on the road.
And chain requirements remain in effect tonight on Highway 50. Chains are required from Kybers to Myers, and then on Interstate 80, Baxter to Truckee. Chain controls in effect there. This is video from Myers and Kingvale. As you are looking right now, a live look at those conditions. Nobody on the road in these screenshots as of right now. Here's meteorologist Mark Finan with the conditions that we're seeing right now.
The valley dry. We haven't been able to say that much lately, but yeah, it is dry up and down the valley. Let me show you the last couple of hours. We did have a few showers go through during the evening hours, but things really drying out. Haven't seen any rain in Sacramento County basically for the last couple of hours. The foothills still hanging on to some rain, especially in Tuolumne County, but Sonora now dry after having some rain that lasted into the evening hours. We still have some rain around Groveland, and as you head up 108, you only have to get up above around 4,500 feet before it turns into snow. And the same is true here on Highway 4 and 88. Also, we have chain controls on 88. And if you are planning on maybe going skiing, snowboarding tomorrow on 88, 50, and 80, there will be chain controls first thing in the morning, even though the snow we're seeing right now will be wrapping up. It takes a little while for Caltrans to completely clear the road, even after the snow stops. So again, if you're heading up early, just have four-wheel drive or chains, or wait till the middle part of the day when the roads get clear. On Interstate 80 near the Grass Valley area, we still have some rain going on. This will be about the last of it. I do think we are going to have a mostly dry day tomorrow. I'll show you more on that in just a couple of minutes.
All right, Mark, looking forward to that. Thank you. Sacramento County is opening a second location to shelter the homeless. County leaders are seeing a lot of people coming off the American River Parkway due to flooding and park closures. The Howe Park Community Center opened yesterday, and as of this morning, it had just 3 people and 1 dog. A reminder, this location has the capacity for 50 people and pets are accepted.
We're continuing to do outreach to people, seeing if they want to come to that shelter and continuing to warn them of the upcoming storms and any potential danger. And then we've also opened up that location to people coming from maybe downtown Sacramento through the city of Sacramento if they need that capacity in addition to what else they have open.
The county's motel voucher program is providing shelter for more than 200 people.
Heavy rainfall is forcing some people in Sonoma County from their homes and businesses, and this all comes as the Russian River continues to rise. Lena Howland reports.
As the debris-filled Russian River swells with more rain on the way.
2 weeks ago, the river was down to a foot. So looking at it now, it's crazy.
Sonoma County issuing an evacuation warning to all residents living near the river between Healdsburg to Jenner.
Don't recommend coming out here for any reason.
We're going to get hit. I haven't seen this since 2019.
Just shy of 4 years ago, most of Guerneville was underwater the last time the Russian River flooded. It was so serious, there was no way in or out of the city except by watercraft.
During the floods, 5 to 7 days, no power, no heat, and running short on supplies, and you get cold and cranky. You wonder why you stayed behind.
Karen Devan, her partner, and their dog Fergus not taking any chances after living through the last flood in Guerneville.
Safeway will flood, drugstores will close, basic necessities will close down, and the fire department will be awfully busy doing rescues. So you're kind of on your own. You have to figure it out.
Deciding to book a hotel for the next 2 nights in Santa Rosa after losing power Wednesday night.
Get a good night's sleep and make sure that we have our CPAP machines plugged in.
Meanwhile, businesses bracing for history to repeat itself, lining sandbags across their front doors and closing up shop to get out of Dodge.
Lena Howland also reports the Guerneville Bridge will be one area closely watched as the Russian River continues to rise.